In Victorian England, death was common, disease spread quickly, medical knowledge was limited, and when someone died unexpectedly, few people asked questions. For one woman, that reality became the perfect cover. Her name was Mary Ann Cotton, and by the time authorities finally caught her, it was already too late for many of the people closest to her. Some historians believe she may have murdered more than 20 people. Many of them were her own family. Mary Ann Cotton was born Mary Ann Robson in County Durham, England in 1832. To neighbours and acquaintances, she often appeared ordinary. She worked as a dressmaker, a nurse, and a housekeeper. Nothing about her outward appearance suggested she would become one of the most feared women in British criminal history. But wherever Mary Ann went, death seemed to follow. Over the years, husbands died, children died, stepchildren died, lovers died, friends and relatives died. At first, nobody connected the deaths. Victorian Britain was plagued by illness, and many victims were said to have died from what doctors called gastric fever. The symptoms included vomiting, stomach pain, diarrhea, and dehydration. What nobody realised was that arsenic poisoning caused many of the same symptoms. Arsenic was everywhere in the 19th century. It could be purchased easily. It appeared in household products, dyes, and medicines. For someone looking to kill without attracting attention, it was the perfect weapon. As the years passed, an unsettling pattern emerged. Mary Ann would often take out insurance policies on family members. Soon afterward, those same people would become seriously ill. Then they would die, and Mary Ann would collect the money. One husband died, then another. Many of her children never reached adulthood. Yet authorities remained unaware of the growing trail of deaths surrounding her. The woman who would later become known as a serial killer seemed untouchable. But in 1872, everything began to unravel. Mary Ann was living in the village of West Auckland. At the time, she had become involved with a man named John Quick Manning. There was only one problem. Her young stepson, Charles Edward Cotton, was still alive. According to reports from the time, Mary Ann complained that the boy stood in the way of her future plans. Not long afterward, Charles became ill. Like so many others around Mary Ann, his condition deteriorated rapidly. Then he died. This time, however, someone became suspicious. A local official remembered Mary Ann's comments about the child. The timing seemed far too convenient. Authorities were notified, and for the first time, someone started asking questions. A doctor had preserved samples connected to Charles's illness. When they were tested, investigators discovered something horrifying. Arsenic, a large amount of it. Charles's body was exhumed. The evidence pointed directly toward poisoning. Soon afterward, Mary Ann Cotton was arrested and charged with murder. Investigators began looking back at the countless deaths that had surrounded her for years. The deeper they looked, the more disturbing the pattern became. Bodies were exhumed. Evidence of arsenic appeared again and again. What had once seemed like a series of tragic coincidences now looked like something much darker. Even while awaiting trial, Mary Ann's story remained bizarre. She was pregnant. The court proceedings were delayed until after she gave birth inside Durham jail in early 1873. When the trial finally began, her defense argued that Charles may have been exposed to arsenic from household wallpaper. At the time, arsenic-containing pigments were genuinely used in some wallpapers, making the claim plausible on the surface, but the jury wasn't convinced. After deliberating, they found Mary Ann Cotton guilty of murdering her stepson. She was sentenced to death. On March 24, 1873, Mary Ann Cotton was led to the gallows at Durham jail. The execution did not go as planned. Reports indicate the drop was insufficient to break her neck. Instead, she died slowly by strangulation. To this day, historians still debate exactly how many people Mary Ann Cotton killed. She was convicted of only one murder. but estimates often place the number far higher. Some believe the true victim count exceeded 20. What makes the case so disturbing isn't just the number of deaths, it's how ordinary everything appeared. No masked attacker, no dramatic crime scenes, just a trusted woman, a cup of tea, a sudden illness, and another funeral. For years nobody noticed, until one child became the victim she couldn't explain away, and that single death exposed what may have been one of the deadliest killing sprees in Victorian Britain.